I poisoned my thieving roommate. I share an apartment with two other guys. We split bills on everything except groceries. Everyone buys their own stuff and puts their name on it so it doesn't get mixed up. In theory, anyway. One of my roommates keeps stealing other people's food. Mostly mine, but some of my other roommates' stuff, too. I'll come home to find my leftovers gone or a carton of milk empty after I've only drunk it once or twice. I've confronted R about it, but he denies it each time. He says I'm going crazy, but I know it's him. I often carpool with my other roommate and no food only goes missing. Then he's alone in the house. Now I usually buy almond milk since I like the taste. R steals it since he's lactose intolerant. I came home from work on Friday to find my milk almost gone again. This time, I decided to use R's intolerance to my advantage. I added a bunch of normal milk to the carton and left it in the fridge for R to steal. The next day, I came home from work to find a very angry R who started screaming at me for trying to poison him. He said he was on the toilet for almost an hour after drinking the milk. How dare I try to poison him? Oh, so you were the one stealing my food? I said. R huffed and admitted that he sometimes took my milk, but I was still an asshole for doing this on purpose. Things have been tense ever since. I've told some other friends what happened and a few of them think I went too far by messing with his dietary issues like that. I don't think I'm in the wrong. I didn't poison him. I just filled a milk carton and waited for him to poison himself. My husband left me on our 14th anniversary, and now he is livid because I moved on so quickly. My husband asked for a separation on our 14th anniversary while we were away in a foreign country to celebrate. While we weren't as close as we used to be, we rarely fought and enjoyed each other's company and families. We do not have any children. The night before our anniversary, he said he wasn't very happy in the relationship, but didn't know why. The next morning, I asked to see his phone and he said no. He said I would find flirty messages with one or more other women on it. He had made some female friends through school and work, and he said felt like there might be someone out there who was a better fit for him. I said I did not want to do a trial separation, as I don't believe you can work on something if you aren't living together. If he wanted to separate, it would be final. He understood, but said it was something he had to do. After being away for only 2 days, we rebooked our flights home, flew home, and he packed some belongings and left. He asked to come home 7 days later, and we started marriage counseling. He had a lot of trouble admitting he had at least one emotional affair. The counseling was not helpful. He was defensive and not open to it. I suspect something physical happened with the other woman, but I do not have any proof. He had deleted all his flirty texts, Snapchat, etc., so I could not see them. After 4 weeks of living together again and attending counseling sessions, he decided he no longer wanted to try to save the marriage, and he was leaving. He packed up and left a few hours later. He stayed with a friend, found a new apartment, and signed a 1-year lease. I was devastated and even had to take time off work to process what had happened and attend individual counseling. After 4 weeks, I started to feel a bit better. I went out for drinks with 4 coworkers living in my area and found I enjoyed one of them a lot. I had only met him over Zoom before this. We started seeing each other a couple of times a week. Quite quickly, it grew into a truly amazing, loving relationship. I've stayed in counseling throughout as it wasn't easy to process the sudden ending of my long-term marriage at the same time as beginning something new. It's been about 7 months now. My ex-husband eventually decided he wanted to try to save the marriage again, but I declined. He says I'm TA for starting a new relationship quickly. Our relationship was over as I could no longer trust him, and he had hurt me immensely. I do not want a relationship with someone I cannot trust. Update. The biggest update is that my ex-husband and I are finally officially divorced. We split everything equally, and I bought him out of the family home. Thankfully, the divorce process was quick and easy once we waited for the mandatory separation period in our state. When signing the divorce papers, he asked if I wanted to proceed. He wanted to try again if I was willing. I wasn't, and thankfully, he didn't fight it or make the divorce process more difficult in any way. My ex has been seeing this woman for quite a while now. I know he knew her before we split, but I do not know if he cheated on her or not. It doesn't matter to me. I wish them the best. My relationship with my new partner has continued to be amazing. It's the best relationship I've ever been in, and I can honestly say I've never been happier. He is kind, loving, and a great communicator. We moved in together a while back, and a few months later, we became engaged. We plan to elope sometime in the next year. While it may seem crazy, I am extremely grateful for my ex's cheating and the following heartbreak. Without it, I may not have found the happiness I have today. My daughter's friend is a weirdo. My daughter made a friend at her new school who I don't like at all. She had to change schools because we moved states. She is in 6th grade, so I told her to use the summer to make new friends at her school. I got a message from a parent last week asking to meet up and let the kids meet. They would be in the same grade, and I thought it would be a good opportunity. We went yesterday at the local pool. I met Melanie, and she wouldn't make eye contact, was very soft-spoken, and overall didn't seem to be paying attention. The kids were playing while I talked to the mom. She has always been in the area and was excited her kid was finally getting a friend. But my daughter came up to me asking to leave early. I found it weird, so I asked her why. Then she told me Melanie freaked her out. She was very touchy, kept pushing her in the water, was whispering random stuff, would stare at people and make comments, and even compared people to bugs. I am still confused on what that means. Caddy told me she was uncomfortable and didn't want to hang out with her again. But when I told her mother our kids aren't a good fit, she harassed me on social media. I was born only to please my sister. My sister is super spoiled. 2 years ago, I started babysitting and earning money, and my parents asked me to spend my money on her or give her what she wants. When I said no, they ignored me or tried to make me feel bad. I'm 16 and she is 14. My parents treat us differently. They always want me to give up things so she can have her way. If we both get invited to parties, I'm asked to skip mine so she can go to hers. If it's my turn to pick a restaurant, they make me choose something she likes instead. Even at amusement parks, she gets to go on rides while I don't. They always say it's because I'm older or because she's a girl. Recently, my sister needed braces, but she doesn't want normal ones. She wants a super expensive kind. My parents said they didn't have the money, but my sister whined and said they shouldn't get me a Christmas present so they could afford the braces. Instead of saying no, my parents asked if I was okay skipping my gift for her. I was really upset and tried to say no, but they talked over me. Finally, I snapped. I yelled at them, saying they don't care about me. When my sister tried to talk, I told her to stop and called her spoiled and selfish. I even said I didn't want her as a sister. I also told her and my parents to leave me alone. Later, my parents punished me for being rude by skipping my Christmas present for her braces. I slept with my 17-year-old cousin at a family reunion. I never realized how hot my cousin was until now. I'm 21 years old and I'm currently in university. My campus is roughly a 2-hour drive away from my hometown, and because of my extensive education plan, I don't get to come home very often. Last month, I was able to come home for a big family reunion that we have been planning for months. I had not seen a lot of my distant relatives for a while, so it was nice to catch up with everybody. There was one person that stood out amongst the rest. My cousin who I hadn't seen in 5 years, and to say the least she had changed drastically. I approached her and started a conversation, and within minutes I could tell that she was attempting to flirt with me. Unfortunately, my morals didn't kick in right away, and I continued to flirt with my 17-year-old cousin for the remainder of the night. I couldn't break the thought of how attractive she was, and when my mom brought up the idea for all of the cousins to catch up at my parents' house after the gathering, I was all for it. Upon arriving at my old house, it was prominent that my cousin wasn't planning on leaving my side. She followed me everywhere, and when I went to my room to debrief, she was right there with me. If one thing led to another, and next thing I knew I was fully into my cousin, am I in the wrong for this? My aunt wants me to parent her spoiled daughter. My mom has a best friend named Jenny, and I've always called her Aunt Jenny, even though we're not actually related. Jenny has a daughter named Ellie, who's my age, 16. Jenny thinks Ellie can never do anything wrong, even when it's obvious she has. Here are some examples. Ellie stole a hair ribbon from another girl. Aunt Jenny said the other girl lied because she was jealous of Ellie. Ellie didn't do her schoolwork and got an F. Aunt Jenny blamed the teacher, saying they were jealous too. Ellie's older sister, Annie, moved out and stopped talking to Ellie. Aunt Jenny pretends nothing happened and acts clueless. My mom knows how Jenny is, but never says anything directly. She just changes the subject when Jenny starts talking about Ellie. The problem happened at a baby shower. Jenny was there, and my mom mentioned that I was going camping with my friends soon. Jenny started hinting that she wanted Ellie to come with us. My mom was about to invite her, but before she could, I loudly said, "Oh, hell no." Jenny looked upset, and when we got home, my mom said my trip was canceled. She eventually changed her mind, but she was still mad at me. She said I embarrassed Jenny and that I could have been more polite. Instead of being loud, I could have said something like, "Sorry, we don't have space for another person." I just exploded my family with a photo. Last night was my cousin Bianca's 21st birthday. She still lives with her parents, so the whole family was invited over to celebrate. This included Bianca's boyfriend, Vincent, and our other aunt, not Bianca's mom, Cammie. Later in the party, Cammie asked me to take some photos on her phone. I'm very antisocial and hate being in photos, so this is normal. As I was going around, a notification popped up from someone named Vincent, saying he couldn't wait until the party was over. I knew it was Bianca's Vincent. I recognized the profile photo. I didn't say anything, though, and just handed Cammie's phone back to her when I was done. A little while later, Vincent asked Cammie to help him bring in Bianca's gift from his car. I snuck out after them. I know I should have expected it, but I was a little surprised to find the two of them kissing. I snapped a photo on my phone, then went back inside before they saw me. They came back a little while later. Everyone gathered to give Bianca her gifts, but when it came time for mine, I just handed her my phone with the photo on it. It took a second before Bianca exploded in tears and screaming. Vincent and Cammie tried saying it was just one kiss, but both of them refused to show us their phones. After a lot of tears, Cammie and Vincent left, and the party was ruined. Now everyone is mad at me. Vincent and Cammie for exposing them. My grandparents think it wasn't my place to say anything, while Bianca's family think I shouldn't have said anything until later. I didn't mean to upset everyone. I just thought I was doing the right thing.